Champions of the Realm, welcome back to the grand finals of today. It is the EU Paladins Summer Circuit week number 5. My name is Vox, joined by Rain Day for these finals today. And we've got a pretty heated game before us. 2 weak wins to each team so far. This one will put one team in the winnings, or in the positive standing, shall we say, for the final ladder total of the Paladins Summer Circuit, putting some of that $10,000 prize pool per region up for grabs, with the majority going, of course, to the #1 ladder rank. On the left-hand side, it is going to be District 69, your boys in blue. We have Gerrah on Grok, Shipa on Makoa, PERDO on Androx's eLvenpath on Buck, and bugzy playing Drogus and Rain. Take me through Torpedo.
Torpedo, Bird's going to be on the Makoa, a level 13 so far what we've seen, which is insane for how short he's been out. Thiel's going to be on Cassie, SunCommander on the Androxus, spunkki on the Grok, and Laizy on that classic Kinessa. Watch out for those snipes, baby.
Oh, so Laizy's playing Kinessa, but that has been preempted, and Buck should be able to dominate her if she is able to get into the backline right now. But so far, trades going out either way. No kills so far. spunkki in an unfortunate position gets chased down by eLvenpath, but First Blood's already passed through right now. bugzy up in the air, dropping damage from high, and whilst those shots are difficult to confirm, they deal so much damage on a hit. Salvo, 500 damage per rocket. If he drops that onto Kinessa, it will be all over for her. But now with Buck aggressing onto Laizy in the backside, does manage to get the shutdown, even without that root on net shot and that cripple as well. And all of a sudden, Torpedo, they're being forced off the objective. Bird and spunkki holding things down for the time being, going to force back eLvenpath. And actually, it's going both ways with only 2 casualties, 3 casualties now, and 4 as Makoa drops so far.
Buck. Bucky's going to annihilate this Kinessa if she doesn't really preempt where he's coming from. And she's going to need to protect her in many ways, Vox. I think someone's going to have to stay by her and safeguard her. It could be the Makoa. It might be spunkki so far in the Grok, who's kind of been playing that role, but it didn't work. She really just takes too much damage too quickly by the way Buck is right now, yeah.
She absolutely just needs hard peel. A shield, Makoa would be a great protector, but that puts Laizy in a very aggressive position, which isn't that good for her. And with the damage which bugzy can continue to churn out, basically bugzy with Kinessa can play area denial. It can peek for a second, fire a rocket, and then fire a rocket, and fire a rocket, and just lock down an angle so Kinessa can't step out of the area. But as bugzy gets hooked in, this could be a turnaround for Torpedo right now. Makoa hooked straight back in. There's the Ancient Rage coming out. And it's Ancient Rage versus Ancient Rage in the objective. No, Shipa doesn't have that available. Should get shut down here by Bird, and now Bird pulls in PERDO as well. PERDO in the reversal is going to stay safe for the time being and gets the shutdown. That is the first objective of the game, going to D69.
Fantastic reversal there. There's a moment between when Makoa hooks you that he took advantage of with the reversal. Grok can also ghost walk out of that, so be very aware. Grok and Drox's players know there is a counter very, very briefly. Only a few characters have it. I'm not sure if Cassie can dodge roll out of it in that brief period of time, but it is a very strong play, and it allowed him to reverse the damage that Makoa was doing to him and actually fire it back into his face. And PERDO taking down the big turtle on the side of Torpedo.
It's extremely useful. Buck has been shut down in the backside whilst we were talking, and Bird now boxing out with Makoa has missed a couple of shots, forced into that turtle shell right now. As Shipa puts the pressure on, grabs the kill. D69 continue to advance as bugzy is just making space for the rest of the team. Kinessa can't land the shots, finally lands the shots into bugzy, gets a shutdown, but is quickly evaporated by PERDO right now. And Buck, deep into the backline, takes out Cassie, and an instant the damage from Heroic Leap as well as a shotgun fire goes through, and now the spawn camp can begin. Torpedo, though, they're wisely waiting in base. They're grouping up as a team to push out all together, and I love the coordination that's coming out of this top tier team. Immediately the Makoa shield goes down, but pulled into the fray is Grok. Ghostwalk will get them out of danger for the time being, but round the backside there's a Makoa storm as well. That shuts down one from Torpedo. Here's some chain lightning as well. Tempest immediately eliminated, and whilst the payload is pushing further forwards, Torpedo, nobody's able to stop it. The respawns keep on trickling, and now SunCommander left contesting for a time being as Laizy is looking for the defense, doesn't find it. It's just taken down by Salvo, and that is it. That is the conversion going through, and 2-point lead to D69.
Yeah, really nice plays by SunCommander. Tried to do his best, reversed, then immediately dashed out of the basically shotgun range of Makoa, or the cannon range of Makoa. Got him from behind, but then was taken down very, very quickly. Grok's chain lightning, Vox, is so damaging, especially when you're forced to defend in those small circles, right? You know, where we are standing and defending that payload. Grok, I see, is just continuously taking advantage of bouncing his chain lightning off and doing so much damage to the group.
Absolutely, and it's that area damage which is really crucial right now, especially in the times when Makoa's shield isn't available and can block all of that. It's very useful as well if you're assisted by Buck, something like that, who can force the players to group up as a sort of body block peel, and that's working very, very well in gerrah's favor right now, even with only 2, 2, and 8 as the flash line. eLvenpath going around on the backside, though, looking for a bit of an advance right now. Dives straight in onto Androxus, but forced to heroic leap away again after popping recovery, or no heroic leap actually necessary as Makoa's shield goes down, just forcing out Torpedo one by one, and bugzy takes out one. Bugzy with a double kill. Can bugzy find the triple kill right here? There's going to be a salvo charge by the looks of it, and there's only one player left. It is spunkki, who will be shut down. Bugzy with a delayed triple. The full house wipe does come through, and D69 once again at point capture advantage.
What a freeing dragon punch by Bugzy. He went up into the air above basically the shelter from the rocks there. They could not see him coming, and then he came down onto them from the backside. It was absolutely stunning to see after hitting almost a full salvo onto the Cassie and forcing her away. Bugzy is doing an incredibly strong job on this Drogos. 8-2 right now.
You expect them to be shut down by Kinessa, right? You expect as soon as the dragon goes up into the air, they'll be taken down, but it doesn't actually matter now. A curse down from PERDO takes out Laizy immediately. D69 retain control of the objective, though there is a point fight going on. It might be taken back, but actually, as players get eliminated, the Ancient Rage is used by Shipa for the shutdown. You've got only spunkki left on the point right now. eLvenpath has returned, and that's spunkki dead. That will be the point going to D69 for the second round in a row.
Nice plays there coming out from Shipa, clearly showing the class and the awareness of when to pop his ultimate, that Ancient Rage. Bring out the anchor, release his emotions finally. He doesn't need therapy. He just needs a big anchor and needs to swing it on some people. So he's doing a great job protecting the point. And again, D69 taking the advantage here early. 3-0, they're going to have to see if they can push this away. Can Torpedo adjust? Here's the Accursed Arm. This might be the start, but Vox, what do they need to do here in terms of stopping the momentum?
They've got to be very careful of choke point hold. They're looking for the choke point hold, but they're actually in a very open space right here. And that's exactly what I want to see. Bird pulls in bugzy, but bugzy already has a salvo charge, drops a lot of damage onto Bird. They've got to deal with this dragon around the backside because they're being a bit of a, not necessarily confirmed damage all the time. It's a distraction because if you don't focus them, they're going to confirm 1,000 damage shots onto you. If you do focus them, then you've got to deal with Buck in your face. You've got to deal with potential pulls from Makoa. You're at a disadvantage there. So actually what we need to see is Laizy being further back, being in a better position and able just to turn up and immediately one-shot the dragon just to get them out of the fight as Buck uses Buck Wild and goes in straight into the backline. Bird now under fire. The chain lightning damage doing dividends to District 69. On the backside, Thiel shut down. Buck jumping straight back into the fray. Now onto PERDO on Androxus. eLvenpath very low though. Will get eliminated by that headshot there. 975 damage, and the push and the defense both continue, but it's stalled out for the time being.
Yeah, he did his job already. I mean, he went in, jumped, faked like he was going in on the spunkki, and then jumped again, used the cooldown reset from the heroic leap, and then jumped onto the Kinessa, who was not expecting him to be on him. She thought he was distracted, and then all of a sudden he comes in and just eliminates that backline threat. He's doing a fantastic job. Him and Drogos are just keeping so much pressure onto Laizy. We haven't seen him dominate the way we've seen him dominate in games before.
And with that defense, actually, Torpedo are holding strong. It looks like they will get themselves on the board this time, but there are 40 seconds left on the payload push. Now, what's really important is that the reverse spawn camp is actually a little bit more possible for the defending team than it is for the offensive team at high-level games, because you can't group up on defense. You just spawn straight out in the open, and Laizy on Kinessa is actually taking advantage of this, but as eLvenpath goes into the backline, they'll be forced to relocate. Laizy under quite a bit of fire, down behind the payload cart. Oh, that was a big rocket right there. Bugzy's looking for the kill, gets one, looking for the second one down to Thiel, but does get taken out of the air, and that'll be the good stall for the time being. Up in the air is SunCommander, and no kills actually going either way yet, enough to really break this hole. That chain lightning coming out of gerrah might do it. If there is a Tempest available, it could be the kills which they need. And up in the air, PERDO with the Accursed Arm, looking to take out Thiel, can't find the shots, and PERDO has been dropped. The payload's still in overtime right now, but it's ticking down by seconds. Rain, how is it going to end?
Well, question is, there's 3 ultimates on the side of D69. Which ones are they going to use? eLvenpath will be available in a second. He might be going Buck Wild to pull almost out of the ledge, but it doesn't matter. Bugzy confirms the kill onto Bird. He's got that dragon punch, and is he going to use it? He's just waiting. Laizy actually gets taken down here by Bugzy, and still got the dragon punch available, but he's going back to base. And the defense has failed, Vox. It looks like Torpedo's finally got themselves defense here and a point on the scoreboard.
Well, that is actually a successful defense in that case. Slight spectator UI bug, folks, just to let you know that Torpedo, they are now on the board. 1 point to 3, an uphill battle ahead of them, but not match point quite yet. Let's take a look at the scoreboard on the burn cards and Rain. look at all of the anti-healing cards. Look at all the cauterizes, that red cross on Torpedo. What's the logic behind that? Well, who are they really trying to shut down?
They're really trying to shut down two specific characters. Gerrah's healing right now with the reduction of Ghost Walk and the ability for him to have Healing Rain. 3 allows him just way too much survivability and healing. So they want to shut that down. But they also really want to shut down eLvenpath because he's targeting the Kinessa and he's still got the ability to reduce his cooldown of recovery with Reconstruction 3. It's going to reduce that cooldown by 3 seconds, but also Vigor 1, which means that when he gets a kill, he's going to reduce it by 25%, and he's going to get that healing up even more. That's who they're targeting. That's who they don't want to stay alive and keep pressuring their Kinessa, their carry in the back line.
Well, you know who is putting on the pressure right now? It is actually District 69, but this time it's bugzy dropping shots from the air down to the enemies. bugzy in a bit of an awkward spot, though. Should get taken out by Laizy. No, eLvenpath to the rescue, but bugzy will fall as well. eLvenpath with a double kill, getting pressured out by Grok right now, but PERDO up in the air. Evaporates one for the return. spunkki and gerrah neck and neck right now, but they have a PERDO on their side. The hook, though, the dredge anchor pulls PERDO into danger, and actually Torpedo have a comeback potential here. 42 points in favor of D69 right now, and Torpedo, they're regrouping for the offensive attack.
Well, I'm loving Buck. I'm loving seeing Buck. This is the first time we've seen him in this actually new CB30 patch in the professional format, and I'm finding him to be very, very effective in doing his job, doing his role. It's really, really nice to see eLvenpath dominating with this Buck and putting on a performance that shows that a lot of these characters now, I think because they've got more damage, because everyone's kind of gotten better, and with this low TTK, having a place if you know how to use them correctly.
So I think we were all a little bit worried that eLvenpath's famous Buck would actually disappear on the backside of things when Buck was changed, because Buck I haven't seen him really played in any of my pub matches so far. But as he goes on a rampage and assists in shutting down 3 players of Torpedo right now, we can see confidently that Buck is back, baby. And with the hotfix last night, which gave a little bit of a buff there, and Buck Wild also now providing damage reduction, he is devastatingly strong. He doesn't necessarily need the healing if he can just reduce the amount of damage he's taking by, I think, 35% with Haven and Buck Wild active.
Well, let's talk about this, because most people may not know what Buck Wild is. I mean, he had a new ultimate last time we saw him in the competitive scene.
Oh, absolutely. So I think what we saw from the patch notes is that Buck's Cataclysm didn't really fit his playstyle very well, his imprisonment, and so that was going to be reserved for a different champion. Maybe, I don't know, I'm spitballing here, but you know, it's a rock wall, maybe an earth elemental-based champion or an earth mage or something like that that would maybe fit the ability better. In result, Buck got an ultimate called Buck Wild, and what does that do, Rain?
Well, it's going to allow Buck to go crazy. He's going to get cooldown reductions by 50%. And he's also going to get some damage reduction as well. He's going to get 30% damage reduction for the entire duration of Buck Wild. And it's going to be pretty nasty. He is really going to be going Buck Wild, just spamming his abilities, jumping, healing, and just being able to net people, which is extremely, extremely effective nowadays.
Right, you got to remember that the net shot no longer provides a cripple and a root, but it does provide a slow. And actually, in this low TTK meta, if you can slow an enemy and allow, say, an Androxus or a Kinessa to confirm damage onto them, that could be devastating. And here comes a Tempest as well, coming out from gerrah, looking for the confirmation. spunkki, ghost walking and dodging around the payload for the time being, has fantastic chain lightning damage, but hooked into Makoa now, is forced to go into ghost walk. And actually, the hold is coming through, but D69 bugzy back around the back with the salvo, is able to keep things going for them. It's not reaching overtime yet, and it's so close to conversion with only 55 seconds left on the objective right now. SunCommander forced to use a curse down to box out just bugzy, and the hold goes through for the time being, but it's so close to actually being converted that I don't know if they'll have the guts to stick it out for the entire duration.
Yeah, not sure if they're going to be able to do it. There's 40 seconds though, so they'll have time. They'll have time to come back around, regroup, and wait. Smart play here. Both members of the current team, eLvenpath and gerrah, just a little bit up, advanced, waiting for PERDO and squad to get together and make an actual attempt on this point. 24 seconds on the clock, ticking down. This is going to be crunch time here. This could be the game if D69 is able to convert this.
Well, you know who's crucial to me here? It is Laizy, because if Laizy can get the poke off before the enemies all start to advance, then Torpedo will remain at the advantage in terms of health pools. But as the chain lightning damage starts to come through, bugzy around the backside just dropping consistent damage through and actually able to dodge out the Tempest radius from spunkki. But SunCommander shuts him down in midair. That's a boon for Torpedo right now as they look strong to hold. Only 2 players left on the objective. It's Ancient Rage versus Ancient Rage here on the objective. Makoa going to be shut down. Shipa going to be evaporated, but no, somehow staying alive around the payload cart, finally taken down. But Thiel's forced to be the one contesting the payload as Buck leaps in. The respawns are coming through, but I don't think it's enough. Torpedo, they missed the kill, which they really needed onto Makoa. That bought enough time for D69 to survive. And with these kills coming through, and the Tempest coming out from gerrah as well, spunkki able to ghost walk for the time being, but Dragon Punch all the way through from bugzy actually takes out Kinessa as soon as they respawn. They're so staggered right now. Torpedo are in such difficulty, and it's already over. D69 push the payload through to completion and take game one in a near shutout sweep.
What a dominating performance by the boys of D69. Fantastic back and forth play there. A very tight match, but still showing the aggressiveness, showing the confidence that this team has to go ahead and take what they believe is theirs. You know, eLven and squad were like, we're not waiting till next capture point. No. We're handling this right now. They pulled out all the stops, and it worked out in their favor. Let's head to the scoreboard and see what the stats say. And the first thing I want to note is the Kinessa on the side of Torpedo. 6 and 16. This is a different Laizy, but of course he hadn't been playing against eLvenpath Buck, who went 17 and 14. And Vox, in my opinion, if a Buck can go 17 and 14, that's okay, but if he can keep a Kinessa at 6 and 16, that's fantastic. I feel like D69 executed their strategy, and Torpedo didn't have a way around it this match.
It's not just that for me, it's also Thiel, 9 and 18, half 0.5 KDA, less damage than Laizy. The lowest damage in the game, if I'm not mistaken, at 48,000. It wasn't just Kinessa that was being pressured in the backline and shut down, it was also Cassie. And as a result, you're playing effectively a 3v5 game for the duration, because on those respawns, we saw on the payload defense, as soon as Thiel, as soon as Laizy came through the gates, they had Drogo's rockets waiting for them in the choke points, and they just were evaporated. No chance to actually respond to that, as the damage was already there, ready and waiting for them. Going into the next round, I think one thing is clear. There are counters to Kinessa, despite how devastating she might be in pub matches, and despite how devastating she has been in Kinessa versus Kinessa games, in these very tight choke point maps, where there are a lot more corridors and less long lines, open space and long lines of sights for Kinessa to look down. I think she's going to have a bit of a harder time. Maybe a Bomb King? We saw that earlier from Laizy.
No, I don't mind Bomb King at all. I think in this, with Bomb King's mobility and his damage as well, that could really counter eLvenpath and just be able to poppy bomb either him away and just separate the distance again, or just destroy him before he has a chance to finish him off. I really like the idea of a Bomb King switch up. But Vox, what do you think about Grok being so consistent in doing so much damage at this point? Spunkki is over 100k right now on Torpedo, and gerrah 85k. I mean, these are some insane numbers. Is this character moving forward, do you think, going to stay this way? Or are they going to adjust some of his abilities for this? What do you think should be happening?
Well, I've already seen the man himself, Hi-Rez errors in chat saying, maybe Grok's damage needs to be adjusted a little bit more. And I think a lot of that has to do with Chain Lightning. Back in CV29 or CV28, if I'm not mistaken, Grok gained the ability Shock Pulse as an alternate fire. Rather than having Chain Lightning dealing half damage or 30% damage on Chain Lightning and instantly activatable, you fired a Shock Pulse out which bounced between enemies, a little blue ball of energy, and then everybody who was struck by your weapon attack had full damage Chain Lightning. Now, going into future patches, we're probably going to see that Chain Lightning damage dropped back to the values it was before, not dealing full damage to everybody, because Spunkki was also running Arc Lightning 4, and that card increases the bounce range of Shock Pulse. So we saw some insane Chain Lightning damage go across in incredible distances, and I think that right now it's just so dominating, especially around those group fights when you've not got triple shield to block all that damage. That, you either play it and you win with it, or you play it and somebody's better than you and you lose as a result.
You know, it's interesting because you can pick up cauterizes on the enemy team and basically nullify his Q, so he wouldn't have healing. So if he doesn't do enough damage, and then you basically can counter his healing, a lot of people we may see Grok fall off again because, well, he's not serving his role as insane damage. It'd be interesting to see. He's a tough character to balance, but he's definitely in a good place right now, so I'm sure we'll see him next match. Not sure if we'll see the Kinessa next match. You all have to stay tuned. Remember, there's a code coming up for you guys to win in chat, so make sure you stay glued to the screen, and Vox and I will be right back with game number 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, champions of the realm. My name is Rainday, and joined with me today is Vox Tempest. We'll be casting the finals, and this is game 2 of a best-of-5 set, D69 versus Torpedo. D69 has got the first game advantage, but there's been a change on Torpedo. I'll let Vox get into that, and we'll see if they can go ahead and even things up. On the side of D69, however, we're going to be seeing PERDO on your right-hand side, going ahead with his classic Androxus. Bugzy on the Drogos, eLvenpath onto the Buck, gerrah on the Grok, and Shipa on the Makoa. And Vox, take us away for what Torpedo has put in place.
So whilst District 69, they've adopted it ain't broke, don't fix it, Well, Torpedo, it was clear. The Canasta was being countered and pressured out too hard, so Laizy's actually switched to Bomb King up here. The rest of the picks remain the same, but Laizy did very well on Bomb King in one of the earlier rounds. We'll see if they can accomplish that again. And immediately hooked off the edge by Shipa is actually the opposing Makoa. That's a huge boon right there. District 69 take the advantage. They're going to be on the offensive right now. eLvenpath diving deep into the backside, and that's almost a team wipe already. 3 members down, and now spunkki, under a lot of fire, will fall. So eLvenpath fall in response, but actually now there's a hook through. SunCommander appears to be stuck right there. He's inside the little hut, healing up for the time being. But what a play. Immediately hook off the edge of the map. Disgusting.
Disgusting. And now healing up with that healing totem and healing rain 3, giving him 3% of his maximum health back, is Shipa. He's actually gerrah, excuse me. He's going in onto the SunCommander, who's now trying to get away. He's got nothing to command. He's just got to go back to base and stay alive is his hope. But now the pressure coming in from Torpedo, looking to retake, forcing D69 off the point. And now we're at a bit of a standstill, some fighting off on the upper ledges here.
Well, the problem is that Torpedo, they're all pincered in a little group, hiding behind a shield. Bugzy was raining down rockets on them, but they do appear to have managed to force their way out of the choke point, and now Torpedo hold with Bugzy being the only player left. Salva does drop onto Androxus, but Androxus should win this boxing match. SunCommander very low, does manage to take Bugzy out of the skies, and now Buck actually almost off the map right there, activates Buck Wild in midair was that, and re-leaps again. We're going to see SunCommander pulled in 1 versus 3, another step twice now, only available twice to get away for the time being. Torpedo holding strong, but Laizy very low, in so much danger right now. He is finally taken down.
And the damage from the bounce of Grok, the Chain Lightning bounce, just doing a lot of work there. SunCommander up into the air with the accursed arm. Bugzy taking down Bird, however, and spunkki taking down gerrah and Shipa. So it looks like Torpedo has found a bit of an adjustment here. The accursed arm, however, coming from PERDO, taking down 2. Is he going to get the triple? Not quite.
No!
Laizy and SunCommander clean it up. This could be Torpedo's point.
And it will be Torpedo's point. They go for the full-on retake. That was so close right there, but actually saved by the bell, saved by Laizy with a long-distance connection sticky bomb. Got to land that direct hit for the 1,000 damage explosion right there, and the successful explosion will net the kill. Now Bugzy being pressured out by Bird. Bird in a lot of trouble though. 1 versus 2 is destroyed. Up on the high ground, Laizy looking to be a little bit over-aggressive here, but very low, will fall. And whilst Torpedo, they pushed out of the spawn choke right here, they're into the next choke point around this little building, and all members of District 69 are up and available, and Torpedo is somewhat staggered.
And it looks like eLvenpath going for the flank there. spunkki trying to stay alive, but gets taken down by PERDO as well. So D69 have found themselves in rhythm, getting themselves back together and grouping very fast, Fox. It's you know, we've seen Torpedo have to take a little bit longer to kind of regroup, and a nice pull there, taking down Laizy very quickly. But D69 seem to have stabilized here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they'll continue to be stable, and they'll continue to keep Torpedo on a bit of a rotation as long as Laizy keeps on doing the Poppy Bomb into danger kind of build.
Right.
So eLvenpath, though, has overextended right now, does finally get shut down, and here goes the... Oh no, Laizy whiffed the Poppy Bomb. Now he's in King Bomb, but the explosion is not going to connect to anybody. He's far too far away. Death did await you all, but here comes a Tempest on the backside from gerrah. Shuts down 1, looking for the shutdown onto 2, manages to pick it up. Around the backside, though, does come Thiel, and actually it's Laizy who nets the kill there, but oh, good grief, disengaged, saving Thiel as they are dredge anchored across the map right now, and spunkki trying to push this payload forwards has to box out against Makoa, who just has the upper hand with eLvenpath in tow.
And Laizy already, Vox, is proving to be so much more effective right now. He's 5 and 5. He's getting a lot of important kills, though, and although he's getting focused, he's now having more of an impact in terms of delivering that same pain back onto some of the members from D69. They're definitely taking a lot more casualties in this match, and it's working out for him. I like the adjustment so far with Bomb King. Is it worked out for you?
It's working out for me, but what I'm not seeing is Laizy actually targeting shields as much as I feel like he needs to. He's running Wrecker. With a direct hit from those sticky bombs, he does 2,000 damage a hit to shields,
yeah, it's nuts.
Which is just too much to pass up. But in the meantime, Makoa is still able to just, you know, turtle around the payload and stay alive for the time being. Has finally fallen. Grok versus Grok battle on the backside of things will put actually spunkki in danger as PERDO joins the fray, and Bugzy round from behind is aggressing onto Thiel. Thiel should get the shutdown here, but no. Up into the air is Bugzy, out of danger for the time being. Bomb King unable to land the stick. Bugzy so very low, finally shut down by Thiel, but Shipa has joined the fray too. Shipa gets the shutdown there. There's only 2 seconds left on the payload push, and it's still stalled out. Torpedo have barely made it out of the base right now. gerrah with a chain lightning, keeping everybody poked low. Buck Wild activated by eLvenpath just for the hold right here, and they're determined, D69, not to let this payload push any further.
Fantastic hold so far. Bird trying to have something to say about it, but he gets taken down by PERDO, and that should do it. We're now tied 1-1. Of course, 1 point for defense and 1 point for converting the payload now And the next capture point is going to put somebody ahead of the game. Now, one of the reasons we're seeing maybe Laizy not take a look at hitting the shield so much could be because of the card Shipa's running Barrier Reef, allowing him to reduce the cooldown of his shield by 4 seconds for every 2,000 damage that it takes.
That's pretty significant. That means that the shield will just be up and up and up and up. So in fact, bypassing the shield with abilities like Tempest or abilities like if you had a Grover on your team, Whirlwind, or just leaving the shield entirely might be the better thing to do as we aggress towards the next point. We're on the top side of the map, right on top of the cliff tops right here. I doubt we're going to see any map kills unless it's a Makoa hooking enemies off the edge. Initial pressure coming out. Laizy goes into King Bomb looking for the triple kill, but actually bugzy around on the backside already takes somebody out with Dragon Punch. Laizy pulled into a very dangerous area. No popping bomb for you. D69 take the advantage as the damage just keeps on coming through. Up in the air, Bugzy rains down fire onto Androxus, and SunCommander forced to step away as Bird is evaporated and taken down by that Dredge Anchor in Ancient Rage by Makoa.
That was extremely unfortunate for Laizy. He went into the King Bomb, almost had 3 members there, but just got taken out of it. I'm not exactly even sure what happened, but he just got killed before.
Early.
Did he cancel it early?
I think he canceled it early. I think he threw the explosion when he heard "Behold the Dragon's Fury," and I want to see that in Twitch chat right now. And just because he knew that he would have been taken down, it would have actually killed Bugzy. But you know, if it's a reflexive preventative measure or self-preservation measure, then it could just be too ingrained into your mentality to, oh my god, Dragon Punch, I have to dodge, I can't dodge in King Bomb, that it puts them in danger. And now as SunCommander gets pressured out, taken out by Drogoz right there. That's unusual to happen. That should be the other way around. D69 with 5 members still alive take this capture point back in a complete sweep, and the points now lead 2-1 in their favor.
So let's take a look at the burn cards. Now we've got a little bit of a break in action as the push continues. We're seeing a 5-man pickup of Haven and a 3 Chronos pickup basically in terms of the team. The only thing really being agreed on by everyone are the Haven picks, and we've seen this a lot, Vox, right?
Absolutely. Haven is still very strong, and what's really important here to me, actually, is that we're seeing Haven pickups on a couple of members of Torpedo, but they're not going for that full-on damage reduction. That might be giving D69 the edge in these fights, but also Bugzy does still have splash damage available to them. Haven won't reduce that. It will reduce the damage of a direct hit, if I'm not mistaken, but if those lands very close in proximity to the player, for example, from a salvo, there is no damage reduction on that at all, and all of the healing cards picked up by Torpedo just being ineffective by the one cauterize picked up by gerrah, as that chain lightning is far too strong and hits far too many players for healing to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we see Drogoz now being picked up. One of the characters that, you know, I think felt a little bit slow at the very start, but because of the hot picks, hold that thought. Here comes the Dragon Punch trying to find someone. Misses everybody, hits the walls, though. But with
hits the salvo, though.
Yeah, the fire spit explosion does the damage, takes down Thiel. And, that was a good play by Bugzy just to make something out of it. Obviously, he missed his Dragon Punch. It was a good attempt. Didn't connect with anybody, but then still gets the kill. I like that play. It's very heads up.
So Bird has now used Ancient Rage, just the ultimate, to survive and force the enemy's D69 away from the objective. Payload about 5 meters away from its conversion point right now, but there's a very, very good choke point here for Torpedo to hold. They need to have the angles. Maybe Laizy could set up some sticky bomb traps or something similar. Maybe they could look for a shield around the objective. SunCommander going for a little bit of poke, but around the backside, gerrah, chain lightning damage could turn things completely around.
Yeah, and for me, eLvenpath has had a very difficult game, and if he can start finding a rhythm, if he can pick his targets, he's waiting, he's lying in wait right now, he's staying in the back line, he's got picked off, he got a little bit of a health increase and some damage reduction this next patch, this last patch, so he's feeling confident, but now he's trying to find somebody. If he can get a couple kills, Vox, I think this will change the dynamic for D69 and really put them in the lead.
Well, they're trying to find the rhythm, but they can't find the rhyme right now because Torpedo have kept them staggered. They've taken everybody on D69 out as the respawn's coming through. eLvenpath, the only player who can potentially take this into overtime. eLvenpath is on the payload, but he's taken down actually before the timer runs out. A successful defense right there, and Torpedo equalize. Great play coming out of Thiel with a presence of mind just to land the blast shot, single shot combination there for the extra damage and just take Elven completely out of the equation. Good timing.
Yeah, very, very strong timing. But again, you know, eLvenpath to me it's not necessarily eLvenpath's fault. It's the fact that they've switched from the Kinessa and now they actually have a counter to the Buck jumping in. He's going to take so much damage right away. Kinessa not very good at that, you know, close range. But Bomb King, that just makes it easier for him to stick his bombs. And so he's taking a lot of deaths at 5 and 8 right now. Very, very different. And now Laizy still at 6 and 10, but eLvenpath not having the strongest game.
No, Laizy a little bit less easy to counter by eLvenpath. And look at the burn cards right now. There's actually 3 cauterized cards still picked up by Torpedo. They have the burn card advantage going into this round. Let's see if they can capitalize off it. Spunkki from the backside drops a lot of chain lightning damage, goes to the Tempest, looking for one. Gerrah and Ghostwalk is able to immune it. eLvenpath gets out just with no health left. Actually, that's a King Bomb ultimate used in mid-air by Laizy for the shutdown. Round on the backside though, Shipa does take out one with Ancient Rage, but they're staggered. D69 have lost 3 members already. They're about to lose a 4th right now. Actually, no, Shipa gets the turnaround with Ancient Rage onto Laizy right there. The Dredge Anchor pulls him straight back in, and as the respawns come through, it's Torpedo who are staggered now with a very low health Spunkki, and eLvenpath diving deep into the backline. Look at the salvo!
Damage, man. That thing
Good grief.
hurts. That thing hurts, and bugzy knows how to hit it. Bugzy was a very good Drogos. Even at DreamHack, we saw him play Drogos very, very well. And now with all the damage that Salvo does, 3,000 damage in total, it's enough to take down almost any character. And he's proving that time and time again here on this character.
And since it does have a spread effect, you don't fire Salvo completely accurately. Hold that thought as Dragon Punch comes through, looking for one, doesn't find Spunkki. Round the corner though, almost gets Thiel, threads the needle right through everybody, but Salvo has the large AoE effect. Salvo decimates Thiel with the help of eLvenpath right there for the shutdown. Androxus in the air, cannot survive for very much longer. SunCommander now on the ground, taken down by bugzy for the double kill, and Laizy the last one left standing. Bamboozled by that Salvo right there with all of the damage, is left to wait for the team to respawn before they can put up some kind of suitable defense.
Oh my god, this Salvo damage
not again!
is insane. He is dominating right now, and his Dragon Punch is already up. He just used it 2 seconds ago.
And he takes out Thiel as well. And now Makoa's under fire. Bird chains him out of the air. That might have been a certain death sentence. It is bugzy finally shut down by SunCommander, but it's already too late for them. It's 4 members down. Bugzy with the double, and the double Dragon Punch kill is unstoppable.
What is it? I want 2 Dragon Punches. I want 2 Dragon. How come he has 2?
Hit every salvo. Hit every rocket out of salvo and one-shot your opponents, and you'll get 2 Dragon Punches. Be
with
bugzy.
morale boost. With morale boost.
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious! That charge is so fast. That is fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen 2 Dragon Punches in such quick succession, but it's working out for him. Thiel was the guy who didn't get the better end of that trade there. eLvenpath still heading back to base, but getting a few more kills on his end, finding a little bit more rhythm. He's 8 and 10 now, and going 3 and 2 since we last spoke about him. So having a little bit of rhythm there. PERDO still doing well as usual, 12 and 10 on the Androxus, and just providing some decent back support right now in the back.
There's another Dragon Punch. There's another Dragon Punch.
Dude.
Bugzy's looking for Thiel. Thiel dodge rolls out of danger, misses the hook as well. Thiel threads the needle, but he's 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5.
Quadra.
Taken out immediately. That's a Quadra kill coming right through there. Although not for Drogos this time. The payload about to reach conversion will finally get there as the hooks from Makoa actually stun out Makoa on the side of Torpedo. Bird unable to move, and that is a successful payload conversion, putting D69 for the 2nd game in a row at match point.
Okay, that's crazy. That is crazy. Bugzy is showing some things that I'm sure he knew before this, but that a lot of people didn't know. How fast you can charge Drogos' ultimate by hitting those salvos with morale boost. I mean, he's used it 3 times in probably a matter of like 2 minutes. Like that's nuts. That is nuts. And also PERDO with the Quadra kill at the very end, just showing his class, a Cursed Arm, and then taking down 2 more. He is just such a carry for them and such a staple of their team, Vox. Time and time again, he is the reason why they're getting these clutch victories.
Indeed, we've spoken about PERDO so much in previous weeks, and now he's just become a consistent factor that we almost feel the need not to talk about anymore, because we know that wherever PERDO is, he's just bodying opponents, and so we're looking for the other players who are pulling out some more flex plays around the edge. Bird does take out the opposing Makoa immediately, though, and now eLvenpath under fire. This is Torpedo's advantage. They have a comeback potential right here as they begin to rack up points on the objective, although bugzy also taken out of the air by Laizy as well. PERDO in a dangerous position will take out one, but is now forced out as Makoa dives in deep, and Thiel as well actually is dropping damage onto gerrah as gerrah is hooked into danger, but gerrah trying to box out Thiel, excuse me, has the advantage here. Dome shield goes down, and D69 are forced to rally around for the defense, but there's nobody on the objective.
Trying to clear the objective now. Spunkki chasing Shipa on the Makoa. Makoa looking to retreat behind some of the corners there. eLvenpath going down to Spunkki. And the Tempest comes out, looking to clear one. Ancient Rage popped as well to increase the health pool. He does survive. Shell spins away. Fantastic heads-up play there to give him that increased health during the ultimate so he could survive the Tempest and then keep himself alive. Really, really nice play by Shipa, although he will go down now.
Oh, and who else will go down but none other than bugzy, trapping himself in a very tightly confined space with the Makoa using Ancient Rage. That is a recipe for disaster, and also a very difficult quest. So you should definitely be aware of that. Do not go into those choke points as Drogos unless you're dropping a salvo from one of the entrances or exits, as it puts you in a great deal of danger. And so Torpedo, they have taken the capture. They don't have to go for the payload conversion here, although it would equalize them, but they will not lose off this if on a successful defense from D69, and that's really important.
Yeah, very, very important. They just let that go because, you know, they were really, you know, it was Torpedo's point that they had to win. They still have a chance. D69 still has a chance next round to go ahead and take it, and they felt pretty comfortable in capturing these points. But, you know, Torpedo had to do it, and they didn't want to risk using ultimates. They didn't want to risk, you know, basically going all in and just giving them more credits this round. They'd rather set up for a nice defense and get organized.
Well, they might need, or Torpedo at least will need to go in all into go
well,
in
yeah,
all into.
D69.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
They wanted to hold off.
They need to hold off. They can't afford to blow everything in one go because that will open the opportunity for the Torpedo to poke around. However, Torpedo will need to go all in. Oh my goodness, no! Shipa!
What?
Shipa fell off the edge of the map looking for the opportunity or the angle for the rude pull, shall we say. Actually just drops off the edge. Oh my goodness, what a misplay right there. That might have opened up the payload push completely for Torpedo, but nobody's on the objective capitalizing it for the time being. They're just wasting time, although spunkki is providing valuable zone pressure with damage.
Yeah, and Laizy doing a good job right now, going in onto PERDO, trying to hit him in the air. He's going to have to poppy bomb away. He gets up, throws a grumpy bomb. It's going to land. It might get the stun onto gerrah. No, radius not big enough, but he will go down in the action. Now the payload looking to be pushed here. PERDO with a reversal, absorbing some damage. Going another step away. Only 2 dashes now. He's going to get himself up to safety. And Drogos, here comes that salvo.
I just want to point out that SunCommander was completely oblivious to bugzy on the backside of a fight, and bugzy landing 2 quick rockets in succession just destroyed him. SunCommander didn't turn around, and bugzy pumped out those sort of you know what this feels like now with Drogos as well. Drogos in this patch has a slower rocket fire speed, correct?
Right.
Much slower. It feels like I'm playing Doom 2 again, which is one of the very first FPS games I ever played with like the center field of view, or the center of your screen rocket launcher, and having those massive damage AoE rockets firing out towards your enemies. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think bugzy does too right now. As with that shutdown, it's enough to take the payload down to the last 5 seconds. Nobody close enough to take it into overtime. And whilst D69 won't win off this defense, they'll keep themselves at an advantage. Torpedo need 2 successive capture point wins in a row to be able to take this game back off and equalize for the 1-1. Otherwise, D69 will be up 2 games and put themselves at the final set game of this week's Grand Finals.
Yeah, 26-12 is bugzy right now, and of course running that morale boost. Now I'm always running a morale boost on Drogos until this thing gets changed, because wow, he's making those one punch dragons work for him, and he's getting them so often. I think he's already at 73% in terms of his charge. So almost all 5 members of D69 will have their ultimates at this next engagement, because this could be the time where they win. They've saved it. It was purposeful. They did not use them so that they could win this game right here. So expect to see a lot of big time plays coming out very, very soon.
I've got a very interesting card to pick up, which we'll talk about after this initial point fight goes on, as bugzy up in the air drops a salvo. Round to the backside, though. Laizy almost poppy bombs himself off the map. Actually lands down, takes 1, but PERDO shuts him down immediately for the full-on trade. Torpedo still looking strong, though, as they pick up 3 members of D69 so far and advance to the capture point. But eLvenpath has gone ahead and grabbed Bulldozer. In a game with 1 deployable, is spunkki's healing totem valuable enough that eLven wants to prioritize taking that down over taking the players down, or even just providing anti-heal with Cauterize?
Well, let me tell you, the healing totem does a lot of, it returns 3% of their max health per second. That's a lot, especially if you have Bird in there as well. I mean, he's got, you know, so much health. It's going to be quite a bit that he's healing back up, and he really is prioritizing taking that down as the buck, the frontliner.
Well, you know who's just prioritized as a target is actually bugzy diving in, getting a kill with the Dragon Punch, looking to apply some pressure for the team. And Laizy, the last player left standing for Torpedo, will be eliminated. That's the retake coming through from D69, but Torpedo hold the 70-point capture advantage so far. The respawns will come through. D69 should have all 5 members before Torpedo get there. And what's really important right now is that Torpedo aren't staggered when they push in. They have to go as a group, and they have to avoid taking massive poke before going in. Looking at the ultimates, nobody has any available. Laizy the closest with King Bomb, but I doubt it'll be up in time, as the points are neck and neck right now. Torpedo, they're fighting for the retake right here, but D69, they still have the damage coming out from bugzy.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Laizy's still there as well, throwing a lot of bombs in and doing a great job. But PERDO on the backside is who they need to be careful of. He's still alive, and then once they get him down, they could rest a little easier, and they do. Thiel takes him down. gerrah, however, takes down Laizy. That was the main point of their damage and contest onto the point now. So it's going to be a tough one. It's 94. bugzy comes in looking for the dragon punch. Shipa actually takes down Thiel, and this could be it. The overtime ticking down. D69 have gone ahead and won game 2, making it a 2-0 lead for them in this grand final set. Best of 5. Only one more game, Vox, and they're already home.
But it was a very close final point right there. 96 to Torpedo, 100 to D69 at the very end. If Torpedo had managed to get their target prioritization on point, they might have been able to turn things around. But alas, with no ultimates, they didn't have quite the damage available to them. And one thing is clear right here. Just look at that slash line. 28, 13, and 21 with 118,000 damage on
Nasty.
bugzy. Laizy's Bomb King as a blaster is just not as good as that damage is coming out of Drogo's. It is just too much to deal with. The salvos are fantastic. The fact that he is able to utilize the verticality of these new maps to the best of his ability, sneaking around the side of maps unnoticed, going for flanking routes that are otherwise hidden and out of access to other champions is a joy to watch right now. And I definitely expect to see more of it in upcoming weeks.
Dude, absolutely amazing performances. And again, we're looking at very, two teams that know each other very well. They're very coordinated and have ideas of how they want to play. It's really about who uses their strategy most effectively, not really whether the quality of play is available on both squads. They both have phenomenal players. It's really just about strategy and counter picking and counter champion choices. And of course, as this game develops, we're going to see more and more of that. Right now, though, it's really exciting to see switches of the Laizy into the from the Kinessa to the Bomb King. And I wonder if we'll see something else, Vox. I mean, it didn't work to get them the win. It worked maybe a little better, but 13 and 23 is still not a score you want on someone who could potentially or should be carrying your game. So you think they're going to revert back? Do you think they're going to switch it up with somebody else in general to maybe counter the Drogos? What do you think?
Well, here's my main issue. Bomb King no longer provides the anti-air, which he used to, as the explosion radius and damage fall-off is that much decreased and increased respectively. Therefore, taking Bomb King is great for taking out tanks, which stand still. It's great for dealing with Buck, but it's not good enough for dealing with bugzy. And actually, the problem this game and the previous game has not just been the disruption from eLvenpath, it's been the follow-up from bugzy going in as a tag team duo. As a result, there is one champion that springs to mind who could potentially turn this around, and that is Viktor.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Dominate with them. Crowd absolutely dominated with Viktor in the bronze placement match. Now, this is a higher tier of game. I expect there to be hard counters to Viktor, such as Buck diving in deep and Viktor not having hustle or only having hustle to be able to get away. But with Buck no longer having a root in the net shot, is that hustle enough, do you think, to get Viktor out of danger?
It's gonna be tough because really, SunCommander can really take Viktor out because. And a lot of characters too, Bird as well. Not Bird, excuse me, I'm sorry. On the reverse side, PERDO and Shipa will be able to focus a Viktor very easily because Viktor has to stand still and channel the entire length of his ultimate barrage. So he will basically be very vulnerable and people can get up close to him and deplete his small health pool very quickly. But he's very good because he's got very consistent damage. He's got a lot of accuracy at long range. He can deal with the Drogos better than a lot of other characters. Even though he's got projectiles and it's not hit scan, he can be very effective at dealing with anti-air and being an anti-air choice for your team. But also that grenade, if he can consistently apply the pressure that grenade can do and get the extra bonus damage, the extra 15% damage he'll get by hitting a bunch of characters and just, going down with his iron sights and his assault rifle right onto them, that is some insane DPS. Trust me. So if a good Viktor can come in on the side of Torpedo, I think it will actually make a big, big difference. But we'll have to wait and see until next match. Hello, ladies and gentlemen and champions of the realm. My name is Rainday, and joining me today is my co-commentator, Vox Tempest. Thank you for watching the grand finals. In this best-of-5 set, we've got D69 facing off against Torpedo. On the side of D69, we've got Shipa running the Makoa, the brand new champion in Paladins. Bugzy, he's on the Drogos, eLvenpath on the Buck, gerrah onto the Grok, and PERDO on the Androxus. Vox, take us away for Torpedo's lineup.
So Torpedo, they're running things back with Thiel on this time. Grok, not Cassie. We've got SunCommander on Droxus, Laizy back on Kinessa, but spunkki on Victor this time, and Bird on Makoa. Grok and Makoa are very much staples of this meta, but look at all the flexes through Androxus, also a staple, I should say. SunCommander, interesting enough, going for Kill the Heal as their burn card of choice this time. Actually, a slight buff, healing for 25% of SunCommander's full HP on Androxus, healing for 500 with a health pool of 2,000 right now. So I'm interested to see how that pays off, but Laizy immediately under fire by Buck, but eLvenpath dived in a bit too deep as Laizy is able to get out of dodge and get out of danger with Transporter, and then the shots and the return fire starts coming back through, but spunkki about to be taken down by bugzy. First blood actually going to, well, both teams this time. There's a kill going either way. It's 4-on-4 action right now, and there's just so much poke coming out from either team.
Yeah, so we did see the victor, which we talked about. It's really funny. I feel like we're starting to know this game, Vox, because all the picks we're talking about end up taking place. So Laizy's back in the Kinessa, and Victor, yeah, he's getting a kill. He's being effective here. Actually, he died. He did not get a kill, but he was involved, and we'll see if he can have a little bit more impact onto the Drogos. But eLvenpath with a jump from behind, a fantastic play, going around the outer edge of the map, using his leg day to increase his jump distance, and man, he's flanking them now.
Well, he is very low, but able to heal up very quick with that out-of-combat regen, and then D69 go for the pincer move, and they shut down all Torpedo. 3 players taken down in an instant. The respawns have to come through, but 74 points up on the objective so far. Torpedo, they're sitting relatively pretty. They can afford to wait for a while before they go for the retake, and they have to be all grouped up together. Victor around the outside. No, actually, it was District 69 who were in the advance. The teams have swapped round once again, and actually they take the first objective 1-0 with very little contention from Torpedo.
Yeah, I don't mind spunkki picking up the Victor, but you can't go and play like that. Victor is a very good, almost support damage character. Very consistent damage, can do well from medium range, but when you get too close, he just loses a lot of his value because he doesn't have a really big distance creator. He can just sprint. He's not going to, make a huge, large gap between you and the enemies, so he can get picked off really easily, and he just gets shut down there. He's 0-4 right now, so I want to see a little bit of a tactical switch in terms of the Victor play.
Well, it's got to be a playstyle switch, of course, as you cannot not switch champions mid-round. Dragon Punch being used by bugzy in the backside, though, looking for Makoa straight through. Actually goes all the way around, trying to shut down Kinessa in the back. Doesn't reach it, but Salvo, actually, with the self-damage as well from those rockets, will result in a kill going both ways. SunCommander took out bugzy. Bugzy took out spunkki, not Kinessa. And here's an accursed arm coming in from SunCommander. It's going to catch an eLvenpath in the face, but eLvenpath is so tanky right now. He's getting dropped, though, and will be taken out by spunkki finally right here. And now, look at this. Damage coming down, raining down onto PERDO. PERDO, the last man standing. Although assisted by Makoa, the shield now at 0 HP should be run down by Thiel. Now it's Shipa under fire. This Makoa is dropped in an instant as spunkki gets a chain of headshots. And even with the salvo raining down from bugzy, the payload has been stalled out, but there's 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Tell me, how did D69 break the blockade, Rain?
It's all about grouping up. It's all about basically allowing the flank to take place so we get a little bit of a distraction. A nice salvo could really help from bugzy to put some pressure on the frontline targets, but I think the best way to break this is to get a nice Grok chain lightning bounce and allow him to space the entire team out, and at that same time have eLvenpath jump in on one of the backline targets, the Kinessa or the Androxus, and that would be a great way to go ahead and make sure you can push in.
Oh, you mean like he just did already and got the shutdown onto SunCommander there, and then goes in again for Laizy. Laizy taking a lot of fire, can't hit the snipes. That's eLvenpath with the double kill so far. Now for Bird. Bird in the backside does activate Ancient Rage, keep himself alive. Gerrah, the one to fall to the anchor right there. Dredge Anchor pulls eLvenpath back in. eLvenpath actually being turned on by Bird this time, and Makoa keeps the team alive. The shield has gone down now, and the stall and the hold is good for the time being. Great use of Ancient Rage there for the HP increase from the brink of death to turn things in Torpedo's favor.
And I really like the Shell Shield Healing Totem combo there coming out from Grok and Makoa. Just a shield over the totem. So it's essentially the old ability that Grok had, but now it's, just being able to combine their teammates and create some cool combos here. I'm really liking some of the combos we've been seeing with that.
Well, it's a successful defense, and 1-1 are the objective scores right now. Let's take a look at the burn cards coming through as the players ready themselves for the next round. Now, Shipa, interestingly enough, not going for Kronos, going for Nimble instead. Rain, talk me a little bit through this and why it might be valuable on a Makoa.
Well, Makoa is a character that is very good and very surprising up close. He does a lot of damage, and he's got a 50 range, basically, circle around him that when he's in that range, he's going to be hitting you for a lot. And so the whole point is getting inside that range. That's the difficulty. So he wants that extra movement speed to be able to close the gap. And if he's chasing someone or he's catching up to somebody, be able to get into that range as fast and as efficiently as possible. That's where Nimble's going to come in.
The rest of the players just opting for morale boost now. D69 might not have had enough credits in hand to be able to go for the full Chronos loadout, which we've seen them do previously, but morale boost working out very well for bugzy so far. Dragon Punch being charged on the backside, looking for Makoa. Makoa actually hooked out of the way. Ghost Walk from Thiel as well, keeps them safe, but the damage straight onto Kinessa on the backside. Eliminated. There goes the double kill right there. 2 players, 3 players of Torpedo taken down, as Victor was the first to fall very early into that engagement, and now Makoa as well in a lot of trouble. Bugzy hiding around the corner from Thiel, who did have the Tempest available. They do get the shutdown onto Bugzy. That'll buy them a little bit of time, but so far the objective time is ticking up in favor of D69.
Torpedo can't even make their way close to the point. eLvenpath jumping in and jumping out. This man is jumping for joy. His team's doing so well right now, and now he's onto the Kinessa transporter. Going to be used, getting her out of dodge, healing her up a little bit as eLvenpath retreats back onto the point, focusing down the Makoa, but he stays alive long enough to cause some havoc, but not long enough to do anything. The point's still in D69's favor. Looking like it's going to go this way, and 86, 89, 91, 94, and that's going to be 2-1 D69.
Right now, honestly, what's doing more for me than Bugsy's play is Shipa's play on Makoa. 2, 3, and 5 is the slash line, but Shipa is just consistently hooking the targets which they need to. If Victor is in range, Victor is dragged into the den of wolves and just blasted down. Oh, the double pull right there. It's like a pair of coconuts meaning on a while they slap themselves in the middle, and no kills traded either way so far as eLvenpath dives deep into the backside. But Shipa pulling Victor into danger means that Victor doesn't have the opportunity to get all that damage off from Rain and is shut down immediately. Like that, just like that. Shut down. I've got another way of saying it.
There it is.
Poor positioning coming out of Victor.
It's unfortunate because we see Laizy being so focused. I mean, this has got to be a very frustrating experience for Laizy, but again, this is a part of the professional scene. Taking out the targets. Bugzy, however, going in onto spunkki and taking him down, but Laizy, again, just not finding a rhythm. He's so talented. We saw him do so much better against teams that didn't have this level of coordination and aggression, but with D69, he hasn't found a way to be as effective and stay alive long enough to impact the fights.
It's all about the target prioritization coming out from D69. They know who they need to shut down and who the weak links on the team are that they can actually leave up for longer without having to worry about. And especially with the displacement coming out of Makoa's hook, Shipa is able to provide all of that effectively. He's hooking dinner right onto the plates of D69. They don't have to go hunting anymore because the food is already there. Pulling back in spunkki. Victor boxing out Makoa. That's going to be a victory in terms of Makoa, as Makoa has the shield, and eLvenpath dives into the backside to clean up. The chain lightning damage is obnoxious right now. Thiel at 0 HP, shut down by bugzy right there, or shut down by the reversal. Was that actually coming out of PERDO, if I'm not mistaken? The Paladin will push through with no resistance whatsoever.
I mean, what else to say? What else to say? I mean, do you have something to say? I don't even know if I have anything to say about this. It's something we've seen time and time again.
I think we're gonna have to play Find the Adjective. If you had to describe these games right now, this set, what word would you sum it all up with?
Okay,
what single one word?
Trying. It's a trying game. As in difficult.
It's a trying game.
As in difficult. It's a trying game, I would say, if I'm speaking from Torpedo's vantage point, because they have moments, and Laizy, he's got to be so frustrated. He's got to, with such skill, it's really hard when you have that skill, but it's not being able to be put to use. And it's just, it's not showing up. I got to say, this is a very probably trying, very difficult experience for them, especially since they continually have these types of performances against D69. And this one really determines who goes ahead in the standings.
Absolutely. This will put the team who takes the first place spot at the, in the winning point position based on the outcomes and the standings and the ladder positions from the previous weeks, and looking to get that top prize and the first place prize for the prize pool at the end of the summer circuit. Shipa deep in the backside uses Ancient Rays. There's actually 2 Makoas dead at the same time right there, both taken down, but advantage slightly in favor of Torpedo right now as they retain the Grok advantage and are able to heal up. But around the backside comes eLvenpath, drops damage, Ghost Walk forced by Thiel right now. Thiel very low, but actually saved by the accursed arm from SunCommander. The one-man ult enough to do the damage, but Bugzy on the backside drops one single rocket onto SunCommander once reversal is down for the elimination there, and the point starts to tick up in favor of D69 once again.
Okay, Vox, I'm going to ask you a return question. If you were going to describe this game in an adjective, what would you say? What would you call it?
I'm going to go with shell shocking because of the effect of the Makoas.
Shell shocking. I like that.
Yes.
And you included a pun. That was very good.
Absolutely. I mean, I got you hook, line, and sinker right there. You just fed me an opportunity.
Wow. Are you kidding me? How long have you been practicing these, dude?
One could say that you were baited.
Oh, my God. Get out of here. Get out of
Certainly
here.
not. As the objective goes over to D69, they start to push away from the payload. Gerrah in a lot of trouble, but look at this. Laizy hooked in by Shipa again, just taken down. The hooks from this guy are absolutely on point. If you want to learn how to play Makoa, then this is the dude to be watching as he pulls back in Thiel as well. Nobody can escape this dredge anchor as he pops the shield just to keep himself alive. And Shipa is on point right now with the shell spin putting him right into the backline of the enemy territory and straight into a place where they're not expecting him and cannot box him out. SunCommander taken down at close range. This Makoa, this turtle is on a rampage right now.
Oh my god, and the salvos coming out from bugzy, so consistent. I wish I could be as consistent as bugzy in hitting these salvos. They're so effective, and he just lands so many of them, and just 1, 2, or 3 will do it to kill a player. I mean, he's got 6. He can miss 50% of them. He's going into his Dragon Punch now. He's got such little health, but he actually gets taken out by spunkki there. Victor, that anti-air, like we were talking about, very effective in
that's actually very impressive tracking. That's very impressive tracking for spunkki to be able to take out a Drogoz during Dragon Punch when they're moving so quickly and moving so sporadically, which is showing that spunkki definitely has potential as a Victor player, and he definitely is utilizing him well, but he's been focused down by hard counters so heavily that he doesn't have the opportunity to get all of that damage off. They're letting bugzy kind of poke from the backside and only go in once all of that danger is kind of out of the way first. I love the tactics that are coming out from D69, and that's what's making the game for them, in my opinion.
And he's also running a card which is very interesting. I don't usually run this type of a deck on Victor, but he's using his ability to move with Iron Sights by 40%. So he's got Firing Stance 4, but he's also got the card that allows him to reduce recoil by 100%. He's got Compensator 4, which I rarely ever see. It's usually at like 50%. So he's going to have a lot of accuracy and a lot of fast-paced moving when he's tracking those opponents like Drogoz. That's why I was able to hit that.
It effectively turns his weapon similar to Grok's lightning stuff, where it is just tracking based, and as long as you have great tracking, you can deal out a significant amount of damage. Shipa 1v2 in the backside, 1v3, pops the dome shield, is able to stay alive for the time being. Rest of the team respawning, rest of the team coming back in slowly. D69 have 20 seconds to go for the conversion, and Shipa isn't healing up out of combat, still being ticked into combat by a Kinessa mine that was trickily placed on the wall of the stairs around the corner. But here comes the advance. Shipa actually taken out of the chain lightning. That's a boon for Torpedo. They might be able to hold here and actually gain a point in their favor. 5 seconds left, Rain. How's it going to end?
Well, it's going to end with somebody winning or losing. Let me tell you that. We go here when it looks like Laizy's on the worst end of that trade. It looks like eLvenpath jumping in, jumping out, trying to figure out a way to stay alive. But Bird is the one who's had that problem now. It's only SunCommander left, and he's getting focused down by the Grok. He's taking him down as well. Bugzy with another kill. It could be all over here. The response will come. But the Dragon Punch going to try and secure it. And it is enough. Bugzy takes down Laizy as well. Oh, but Temp is coming out.
Thiel with the respawn is able to save the team for the time being. Gerrah in Ghost Walk is able to immune a lot of the damage though, and death awaits you all as SunCommander drops damage onto the objective. Buck straight into the back. eLvenpath boxing out Bird. Bird very low. The last man standing. Laizy not close enough to contest. Laizy gets in the last second to confirm it, but the payload is pushed all the way through with that death, and that is the 3-0 sweep coming out from D69. They advance not only as your winners of this week's Paladin Summer Circuit, but are ahead now in the ladder rankings for the entire event now. They are in a very fortuitous position. Now let's see how well the scoreboard reflected that.
Well, we look here and see gerrah doing a fantastic job, almost again leading the team with 76,000 damage, 11-7, but also 25 assists. You could see how much the chain lightning was impacting the targets that got taken down. Although he didn't get the final kill, you could tell that a lot of those targets that he hit with that chain lightning immediately got killed by his other players. And of course, the knockout performance in these last couple of rounds by bugzy on the Drogoz, to me, is what stood out the most. PERDO, of course, he's just awesome always. 86k damage leading the team, but not leading the game. SunCommander beats him on the other side. But again, just shout outs to bugzy for bringing in the Drogoz when no one expected it and just stealing the show.
I do just want to remark on one thing though. spunkki sitting at second highest damage on the team, the third highest damage in the game, with Victor at 7 and 17.
Yeah. No, Victor does damage.
Honestly, right now, if Laizy wasn't on Kinessa and Laizy was playing, I don't know, a Disruptor or somebody who could peel or provide shields, Fernando, Buck, anything like that, and spunkki was allowed to get all the damage off, do you think this game would have gone differently?
I honestly
if spunkki wasn't focused down and just dead all the time, I mean,
I think it's a
problem.
It's always a problem for me when you do, like, this is where you need to have a bigger, and Laizy has a pretty big champion pool. He might just have preferred Kinessa, but this is to me where you start looking at characters that can really helped change the vibe of a game. Really, it's just like they got caught in doing the same thing over and over again. This felt like game one very much. And so if he would have had the Victor switch, but then Laizy would have played something like you said, a little bit more protector oriented, or even if he stayed with Bomb King, I think it would have allowed Victor to be a lot more effective and maybe die a lot less because of the Bomb King pressure, and Laizy wouldn't have been dove as much successfully. So I don't know. We're seeing eLvenpath. He had a great game, 11 and 8. Again, not even near where I think he had 17 deaths last game. So I definitely think it would have made a big difference.
Either way, GG's to all participating teams for today. The lineup and the scoreboard is as follows. D69 on top, followed by Torpedo in second place. Paradigm take the bronze crown in third, and following up is Fate Esports on the bottom side in fourth place for today, as well as the other teams who participated taking the runner-up prizing, and that is the joy of participating and having some of their games streamed. We thank all participants for joining us on this week of the EU Paladins Summer Circuit, and we will be back tomorrow with the NA Paladins Summer Circuit, where Matchpoint, Eager, and Ronin are all going to be in contention. And you know what? I've heard some rumors. I've heard some rumors about some roster swaps, as well as potentially the meta favoring, Victor might be favoring Eager this one. I wonder if there's going to be an upset, Rain.
You know what? I'm pretty excited to see because, of course, we had the same team here do a very, very good job at keeping their number one spot. But I feel this patch, we've had this feeling that this patch could change some things for a few squads. Maybe not everybody, but a few squads may be able to take advantage of this patch and make a run at a championship when they haven't even been in contention. We're excited to see what happens tomorrow, so you all have to stay tuned. I believe, Vox, you know what time that's starting, correct?
I do know what time that's starting, but I know it in EU. I'll actually have to go to the Paladins World website to find that out. But if you're interested in following the Paladins Summer Circuit, you can check out all the previous weeks standing on www.paladinsworld.com. You can also find the rules, and if you click on the rules and scroll down, you'll find information about the sign-up times there. There is no sign-up. You have to be on the Paladins World Discord. You can find that at discord.gg/Paladins World. And then it is just a check-in process. I can see Fazian dropping that information in chat right now, so visit the site, check out the rules, check out the FAQ, and also you can see the bracket standings from the previous weeks and how well all of the teams have done. Otherwise, as we said, we'll be back tomorrow. My name has been Vox, joined by Rainday. You can find us on Twitter, myself at Vox_Tempest, Rainday at Rainday Gaming, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, don't forget to go ahead and give Paladins World a follow at Paladins World and at Paladins Pro for all of your lovely Paladins needs as well, competitive Paladins. We'll see you tomorrow.